All right, guys, what's up? So got the door panel off. Should probably start with the video on what we're doing today. So obviously the title's probably going to give it away, but Boost thought I partnered up with the truck. It's obviously getting dark outside, so that's why I skipped on the removal of the door panel. But I actually have a detailed video that I will link down somewhere on the screen, that I will link on how to remove the panel yourself. If you guys ever moved Ram, the 4th-gen door panel is super easy. I think it's like a Torx 10 and flat screwdriver and a Phillips. It's basically all you need. Super simple. So before I get into removing the mirror, let me flip the camera around. So before I get into removing the door, the mirror, this is your wiring harness that comes out here. You're gonna have 2 plugs. You guys don't need to label these. It's not confusing. One goes one, they're not the same. So obviously the black one goes here, white one goes here. And if you guys are wondering how to remove them, if you zoom in there a little bit, this push clip right here, you're not going to be pushing on it. You're going to be pushing on the inside like so. And then you kind of grab a hold of the wires. Don't pull too hard on the wires, obviously, if you pull them out. Onto the mirror here, which I said I have another video, but why not make this one a little longer? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then another 10 right there. All right, so you guys can see here, the mirror's just hanging. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other side, pull the mirror out, and then start feeding the wiring through. But if you're like paranoid, I mean, it could fall, but the studs kind of hold it in place here. So go to the other side real quick, show you guys. I don't want to do it with one hand because I don't want to scratch, but the big thing that I'm going to be doing right here is replacing these more than anything. So we're going to be replacing these. And the nice part is about Boost Auto, they're switchback, so they're going to look way better, but I have to get this mirror off, and then I have to basically take it apart, which I'm going to probably take it inside or maybe on my workbench and set up the light so there's really good quality, and show you guys real time. Normally I put this kind of stuff on a time lapse, but a lot of this stuff's kind of like delicate per se pieces, so I want it to be like as detailed and best quality as possible. But we're tearing the whole mirror apart to replace this section right here, which I have my key. Oh, I unplugged it. I was gonna show you like what it looked like. Well, I guess I could show you the other side. So see how that flashes right there? So that'll be what the after is, and then let's get this off. Well, that'll be the before. Let's get this off and show you what it's gonna look like when I'm done. Guys, so the light's on the workbench here. I got it on his old motocross shirt so that it's not getting scratched up. But the first step you want to do is pop this outer lens out, which what I did was, it should be a lot harder than this. This is how the back of it looks. When it's on there, you should have to pry from the middle out. This came off extremely easy. I'm assuming it's because I've had my mirrors paint matched before. So let's go ahead and get into the next step, but that is the very first step. So I got the mirror here. The connector up here. I'm trying to show you guys. Trying to get the best quality here. This connector up here, I'm just gonna pry it back, which I'm hoping I can do that with one finger. I can. And I'm gonna pull that out. Now that's undone. Now you're gonna see in here, I got a Torx bit. That focuses. Got a Torx bit. I have one of these like cheap multi-tools from Harbor Freight that works really well. That is not it. It's smaller than that. It looks like it's gonna be probably a Torx 15. And to answer your guys' question earlier in the video, while I'm doing this, because I'm trying to do it in real time to show you guys, the door panel is a Torx 20. So this will be a Torx 15. So if you have the actual bit, not one of these like cheap little utility tools, it would probably make your life a little easier, but holding, recording, and trying to show you guys the best, it isn't too bad. So it should be ready to come out now, feels like it's really loose. Yep. So that Torx will come out, and then gonna set that off to the side, make sure you guys are still seeing. All I'm gonna do is, there we go. Had to put a little bit of pressure, not too much. Got the light out, you can see, and now let's get into the meat of the mirror. All right guys, so this is where you're at now. If you don't have a paint matched mirror, I guess it really wouldn't matter, but if you have a paint matched mirror, you definitely 100% want to use a body trim tool, some kind of plastic tool, because if you put a metal against this, even with like a rag or something, believe me, it's gonna break. So let's put this in here. And all I'm kind of doing is working my way around it, trying not to scratch it, but little by little, it is coming out. There we go. Almost there. One last little tab right, there we go. Gonna flip it over. So that's what it looks like. No tabs, no nothing's broke. So now we're on to this section, and the next section I believe we're gonna get into is gonna be the puddle light right here. All right guys, so before we get into wiring, we're almost on the home stretch of, I guess, putting back together and then getting to put it in the truck. But anyway, the puddle light that Boost Auto shows on their website versus the puddle light that I have, I'm not sure if it's the year of the truck or whatever, but their puddle light was an individual light, and this is like a whole clip. If you're wondering on how to get this out, I stuck my fingernail in here and then I used a pry tool. I'm sorry I didn't get it on video, but this is how it sits back in there. So if you're curious on how that comes out, it's literally that. Guys, get yourself one of these before you even start this. They're so cheap. They're like, I think $1. But anyway, we're almost there. I'm gonna probably unplug, well, I'm definitely gonna unplug this. And then I believe I can finally start routing the new wires and go from there. So mirrors broke down, not bad. Difficulty level to get to this step, especially if you're not like trying to not mess up paint match stuff, is a 2 out of 5, I guess, just because got to be a little careful with this stuff. Anyway, let's keep moving along. This is why I 100% agree that multiple videos are always better than one, and that's why I'm doing this. So this insulator, guys, before you start running this wire and tracing it through, has to be pulled back. And then in here, there's another insulator that has to be pulled back. If you do not pull these back and you just try to fish this through here, there's no way it'll happen. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if like models of trucks, like if Tradesmen's or Bighorns or whatever, like have more like insulation on panels and stuff, but the video on Boost Auto did not have this kind of stuff. Mine does. Not sure what the difference is, not sure if it's year, but the non-fused end of this is what's going back through. So now I'm finally gonna start tracing or running my wire. So I clipped the mirror in, but I'm gonna get the other one out. I want to show you guys. Guys, this is why you buy high quality stuff. They even got it marked for you. Right hand side, it's impossible to mess up. Guys, these, by the way, this is why you do all this work. Look how good these look. But anyway, let's get back to finishing this up and then we'll show it on the truck. So I got the light snapped in. I want to make sure I'm fastening it down. I'm going to take the same Torx bit that I had earlier and get that in there, secure it and snug it. And while I'm doing this and getting this portion done, this wire right here that you guys are seeing, this connector is really, really nice. Just took a set of crimpers, wire crimpers, crimped it down, took just a lighter right here, and honestly heated that up, and that is nice and secure in there. So get this snug, and then we'll get it plugged in and be able to put this mirror back together. So as far as like quality, guys, like while I'm doing this, yes, I am working with Boost Auto now, but it's like you literally get what you pay for. Like these lights are, they're that much quality. Like when I flip this around, when I'm done tightening this and clipping it in, the difference in this light versus the Boost Auto one, just appearance wise alone, without it being a switchback, without it being like a white LED, is already enough in its own. But all the other small things, the snug. Gonna take this wire, plug it in here. Okay, it's clipped in, and I'm going to tuck those out of the way right there so that they're not in the way. Take my mirror and make sure we don't mess anything up here. Is that in? I don't know. It didn't clip in. That doesn't feel too good in there. Let's get that a little bit more secure. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay, so before I finish tidying up the puddle light and put the other thing on, I'm trying to show you guys that. That looks so good. All right, guys, so this is gonna finish up this portion. Once I get it back into the actual truck itself, then I will show you guys what it's like to wire it all in. But if you have any questions, this is gonna be the first portion of this video. I'm gonna do it broken down so that you guys can see. Is it a lot of work for a light? I guess, but like, there is no comparison to looks wise, especially when this is gonna be switched back and lit up. So first portion, guys, mirror portion is done. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Obviously, I will be substantially faster on the other side with doing it once, but this side's done. Get into the other side, and then I will show you guys, obviously when I'm doing the other video, show you guys them all lit up. And if you're like, oh, wouldn't you want to double check to make sure all the wiring works? Really, once all this stuff's routed, it's really, really simple to check your wiring, because you already have everything routed through and everything's behind that mirror. So when you get in there, if something for whatever reason wouldn't work and you have it hooked up to a fuse tap, you can test it that way by just popping that in mirror cap off, making sure your connectors, the part that you had to heat shrink, is all good together. But guys, I'm gonna shut up. Support those who support you, and make sure you guys sub for the next part.